try the next one. So we'll erase this bit, this out of here, and delete, delete, and delete, and delete, 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 delete. All right. So there we have it. Okay. All right, so now let's say we go back 21. What would be the local distance? 21 minus 12 would be like 11. 11 minus 2, which would be 9. So we'd have 9 back. If we go 9 back, 12 minus 9 would be a clockwise distance of 3, which we'd have to know is a 3 note away minor third. So I could call it a negative 9 note away minor third. Minus another 12 would be negative 21 note away minor third. So that means 21 minus 12. So we're going to take it from a minor. So let's go from like the Phrygian. And 21 minus 12 would be, once again, 11 minus 2 or 9. 9 back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that would be the local distance. It would be a 3-5 modal range or a px modal range in the counterclockwise direction. All right. But I want to go back 21. So there's 5 notes between the strings, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Still a px modal range or a 3-5 modal range, but this is and another 12, a negative 12. So I would like to call that a negative 21 notes away from the Phrygian node, negative 5th modal half step, which would be the negative 6th scale degree, but we don't have negative 6 scale degrees or counterclockwise direction. We only have the clockwise direction, which is a 3rd scale degree clockwise. Doesn't really help much, but it is what it is. But you could call it a negative 21 from the Phrygian node and leave it at that, or you could call it a Phrygian negative 12th modal half step and leave it at that, dropping either of the measurement terms because both measurement terms make sense, right? And so then if I say we go back a 5 local distance, negative 5 modal half steps, negative 7 minus 5 would be 2 forward. So we could say, okay, we go 2 forward, which would be the 3 note away from the Phrygian node, 2nd modal half step, which would be the 3rd scale degree. If we go back then 12 modal half steps and count that out, it would be 1, 2, 3. 3 repeats over here, 3, 4, 5. 5 repeats over here, 6, 7, 8. 8 repeats over here, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 back. Okay, let's try the next one. Eraser. Eraser is just totally worthless. What if I have to click on this thing first, and then, oh no, it let me delete, oh no, I can't do that. And then it lets me erase. Maybe that's the key. But then I can't. Okay. All right, let's go back 22 then. We go back 22, local distance 22 minus 12 would be like 12 minus 2, which would be 10. 10 back, 12 minus 10. If we go counterclockwise 10, we could go clockwise 2, which would be a 2 note away major second. So I could also say this is a negative 10 note away major second, negative 10, and another 12 or minus 12 would be a negative 22 major second. But so if I go 10 notes away, let's pick like a Phrygian and go 10 back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't quite do it that way. So 5. If we go 10 back from, wait, no, I can't go 10 back from the Phrygian. It's going to land me in the ocean. What are you doing? Let's say we go 10 back from the Lydian. I could go back from the Mixolydian. That's going to cross the fault line. So let's try going back from here. So notice that this fault line, this tectonic plate shifted to the right. Therefore, to count 5 back, I'd have to say 5 diagonally this way. So I could say 5, 10. Local distance would be here. This is going to be a XA modal range or a 5, 6 modal range counterclockwise. I then have to scroll up here to get it. XA modal range. That would be a 5, 6 modal range. All right, but we want to go back 22. So again, it's going to be 5 here, and then 10, 15, 20, 21, 22. So it's still an XA modal range or a 5-6 modal range, but now it's and 12. So and a negative 12 going in the negative direction. I'd like to call that a negative 22 node away from the Mixolydian mode, negative 6th modal half step, which would be the negative 7th scale degree, but we don't have 7 scale degrees, negative scale degrees. Therefore, we only have the clockwise direction, which would be the second clockwise direction. That doesn't help us. But we could call this a negative 22 from the Mixolydian node, or I could call it a Mixolydian negative 13th modal half step. If we go back 6 in the local distance, modal half step, 7 minus 6 would be 1 forward. So I could say it's a 2 node away clockwise from the Mixolydian mode, first modal half step, which would be the second scale degree. All right, and then if I was to count it out, we said it was how many modal half steps backwards? 13, just to count that. 13, I could say this is going to be 1, 2, that 2 repeats over here, 2, 3, 4, that repeats over here, 4, 5, 6, 7, that repeats over here, 7, 8, 9, 10, which repeats over here, 11, 12, 13. Is that what I wanted? I forgot. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes perfect sense. All right, next one. I'm just going to abandon the eraser altogether. The eraser is worthless. The eraser is worthless. You might as well bite it off the pencil and spit it out, use it to like fling at somebody with a rubber band flicking thing or something, you know. Flick it at something because it's not doesn't do any good for us. All right. Okay, no, don't flick it at anyone. Disclaimer, I am not recommending flicking the rubber band at anyone or or anything. Negative 23 direction. What's the local distance? 23 minus 12 would be like 13 minus 2, which would be 11. So 11 local distance, if I go counterclockwise, would be 12 minus 11, or 1 clockwise, which would be a 1 node away minor second. So I could call the local distance negative 11 node away minor second, minus another 12 would be a negative 11 or 23 node away minor second. So we're going local distance 11 back. Let's pick, I don't know, the 11 back on the Lydian again. See if that works. We're going to say 11 back. So it'd be negative 5, 10. Wait, that doesn't even work, dude. What are you doing? 11 back. Oh, it's a minor. Yeah, because I got it backwards. Let's go from the Aeolian. 11 back from the Aeolian. Now this tectonic plate shifted to the right. So if I go 11 back, I got to go this way. That'd be 5, 10, and then that doesn't work either. What is going on? Yeah, it's because this is the weird minor second one. So it's not actually in the Aeolian, which is the minor. So it won't let me erase it. Okay, so let's try to do it from 1 all the way at the bottom of the guitar, the Locrian here. All right, so we're going a local distance of negative 11 would be 5 up to here, and then this fault line shifted to the right. So I have to go 10 out here and then 11. Okay, so that would be a NI modal range. Now I got to scroll all the way over to the Locrian, and I can't highlight it because it's going to mess it up. So it's an NI modal range or 7-1 modal range in the counterclockwise direction. Okay, but I want to go back 23. So once again, it would be 5 up this way, and then we cross the fault line. So that would be 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23. So here it is. It's still an NI modal range or a 7-1 modal range, but it has an added 12. So and another 12, which I would like to call a negative 23 node away from the Locrian node, negative 6 modal half step. But you could call it a negative 23 from the Locrian node and leave it at that, or a Locrian negative 13 modal half step. If I go negative 6 modal half steps in the local direction counterclockwise, 7 minus 6 would be a clockwise direction of 1 node away from the Locrian node, first modal half step, which would be the second scale degree. And if I go back if I go back 13, let's just count that out. If I go back 13, how can I count that? 1, 2, 2 repeats over here, 3, 4, 5, 5 repeats over here, 6, 7, 8, 8 repeats over here, 9, 10, 10 repeats over here, 11, 12, 13, 13 back. All right, so let's try. I won't go through all the rest of them. We'll just talk them out quickly here. So we'll say, okay, what if, do I need to delete all that? I won't do that. I'll do that after. What if we just keep going up more than 1 octave negatively in the negative direction? So we could just keep on rolling up on it. And if it lets me. So then we would be here. So now negative 24. So now I can see that I've gone over 2 octaves in the negative direction. 24 minus 12 minus 12 would be equivalent to the perfect first, or the 0 note away, right? And I would like to call that from the Ionian an II modal range, but it would be an II and 24. Negative 12 and negative 12 distance between it, a negative 24 from the Ionian node, negative 0th modal half step, or you can call it a negative 24 distance from the Ionian node, or an Ionian negative 14th compound, right? Negative modal distance. All right, so let's do the next one. Next one back. So we go to here. This is going to be then negative 25. So 25, what's the local distance? Well, it's over 12. It's over 12 and 12, 24. So 25 minus 24 would be 1. So 1, right, back. So that would be a negative minor 7. So I could call that then a negative 25 minor 7. But I'd rather do it major 7. Sorry about that. With a local distance, like an IN modal range with a negative 24 between it, negative 25 distance from the Ionian node, which would be the negative first modal half step, or you can just say it's a negative 25 from the Ionian, or you can say it's an Ionian negative 15th modal half step, the compound modal half step, and you can see the 15 is greater than 7 and 7, negative, it's greater than, you know, the total distance, 7 and 7, so it's 15 minus 14 would give you the local distance in modal half steps, which is 1. All right, so let's do one more, and then we'll wrap this up. Wrap it up, meaning I'm going to say a rap song about it, because I'm going to wrap it up, dog. All right, let's say we go back 26. If we go back 26, that we could see that's over 12 plus 12, 24. So 26 minus 24 is going to be 2. So we have 2, which would be a negative 2 note away from a minor 7th. So this would be a negative 26 minor 7th, which would be the adding 24 to it. So if we do that from like a Phrygian, for example, I can call that a PD and a negative 24, or a 3-2 range and a negative 24, or it's negative 26 notes from the Phrygian node, negative first local modal half step, which would be the negative second scale degree if we had negative second scale degrees, or negative scale degrees at all. We don't. We only have the clockwise scale degrees, not the counterclockwise typically. But you could just call it, using this method, a negative 26 from the Phrygian node. Notice you can't really do that over here. You could just say it's negative 26, but the M doesn't tell you anything. The M is basically useless, because I should know the 20. I should know it by distance, by local distance, not by the M. So I'd have to say it's negative 26 and then point to where I'm talking about. Whereas over here, you could say it's a negative 26 from the Phrygian node, right? Or I can say it's a Phrygian negative 15th modal half step, and leave it at that. To get the local distance, I can say 15 minus the compound of 7 and 7, which would be 14, would be the negative first from the Phrygian. Okay, so we can keep going, doing that up. Obviously, not too much further for the guitar, but in theory, it goes on forever and ever and ever. You don't have to say ever more than once, because it almost defeats the purpose, because it's like forever, you know. Anyway, that's it.